When I hit rock bottom, all I could do was look up, and that was my only choice. And the turning point for me was on February 22nd when I got enrolled in the Teen Challenge program in Savannah, Tennessee, and rededicated my life to the Lord. But this time it was for me, and it wasn't for anybody else. So I knew it was right, and that was the day everything changed for me. Where my substance abuse problem started was when I was 19 years old. My best friend was killed by a drunk driver, and it was kind of like a switch went off in my head, and I lost all faith and couldn't think right, I couldn't think straight. I let the world get in my head, and that was all I was worried about for about 6 years. And it was a tough struggle because I tried to do it on my own. I was just trying to numb the thought of what had happened to my friend, and I was angry at the world and I was angry at God because I thought He had left me. When it got worse, it seemed like it got easier, and by the time I had finished, I had ended up with a lot of baggage, and I didn't know how to get it off of me, and it piled up until one day I just broke, and that was the day that I realized I couldn't do it on my own. The journey was rough at the beginning, but then more and more when I got the world out of my head and the Word into my head, everything started making sense, and that anger and my pride and everything started just dwindling away. The work I do right now, I run my own ministry that helps give back to teen challenges across the United States. It's called the Good and Faithful Servant Ministries. And so we take monthly dues, we get donations, and we give back to ones in either Savannah or Greensboro, North Carolina. I also am a character coach for the FCA, and that's been an amazing experience to get involved back in that. And I'm working on becoming a member of a church. What I'd tell the church is that the people that are deep into it and they don't think there's any other way out, is just like what my parents did, is that they prayed, and they never gave up. They knew that the old Clayton was still there. I was just blinded. But they never gave up, and they kept praying, and they kept treating me like I was the person they knew before the drugs and everything became a part of my life. And I believe if you just keep praying for them, they'll fall into the right spot, just like I did. I never thought I'd end up in a faith-based rehab, and nobody grows up thinking they're going to do that, but that was the best thing that ever happened to me. My advice to people still trapped in addiction is that you got to let the past be in the past, and you got to give all your rights over to Jesus, and you got to understand what He did for us, and He's never going to give up on you. Even if you think people here are giving up on you, you can't let the past get a hold of you, because that just exists in your head. But if you look forward and look up, things get a lot better. It's not instant, but the journey is a beautiful part, and you get to see bit by bit how He breaks you down and remakes you, makes you white as snow, like He talks about. And that's truly what happened to me. Even if it was 6 years, I prayed every day to break it. My prayers came, and then more prayers, just because He knew what I was prepared for now, not back then. The thing that people that aren't addicted and they don't know what's going on is that those people are still those people. They're just lost, and they're hurting really bad. They're crying out for help more than anything. It isn't something to play around with, but it's hard not to judge when you're not in their seat, in their position, but you can't give up on those people. They're still the same person before, and when they get out of it, they're going to be even better, especially if they've dedicated their life to Jesus after that. And so, prayer and hope and patience. When I rededicated my life, I started seeing that He couldn't have used me for the ministry and FCA that I'm doing today. But when I did, I finally put the past in the past. I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I could finally be happy and love myself, and then I started loving others. Just reading about the stories and the gospel and everything just made me realize that that's what we're meant to do, and it was my turn to do it. But I couldn't have done it if I hadn't put faith in Him that I was going to get through it. It's beautiful, and it's amazing what the power of Jesus does. It's a lot of work, but He wants you to do it, and He's preparing you for something greater that you don't even know yet. And so you got to put your faith in that you're going to be even stronger.